cringy bad. First coat of color. Seriously, that was painful for me to read. I'm so proud of it.
So today I'm doing a different approach. I'm gonna talk about the worst books I've ever read but did not DNF while I paint my nails. This is heavily inspired by this woman. She tells true crime stories while doing her makeup. So when I saw her videos, I was like,
I think I can do the same thing, but books and nails.
And obviously I wanted to start off strong with the worst books I've ever read. I can be very harsh if I'm in the mood to be harsh, if the book pushed me to that point. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. 6 books in line for the gallows today. Let's begin with the first one. November 9 by Colleen Hoover. It's based off of a instant love or instant commitment trope, which I don't like. You guys don't know each other. Why are you making commitments to meet every year? I'd be super freaked out if a guy that I didn't know started to talk to me out of nowhere. I don't remember who suggested it, but I think it was him. And be like, how about we meet every year for the next 5 years of our lives so we can see how we're doing. Every year it became worse. There was one year in specific that he was dating his late brother's wife. I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I was like, excuse me? It was so bizarre. She was like older than him and she had a kid. So he kind of like wanted to provide for her and her kid. He felt like he owned it to his brother and which like, okay, that's a weird way to do that. And then when you finish the book, you find out, spoiler, this video is probably gonna have a lot of spoilers, so you find out that he was the one that caused a fire on her own house because he wanted to avenge his mother. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about, but he knew who she was. He knew he burned her face and essentially ended her career. But he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna tell her. That's equivalent to the cheating trope for me. So I was like, yep, nope. Speaking of cheating trope, let's talk about Are Your Perfects. Please don't try to reason with me to why it had to happen. Because if it had to happen, this story didn't have to exist. I just remember reading it. It was just, I think, painful. It was a weird story. And then he cheated, but he was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have. But like, and then I think at one point he kind of like justifies it. He's like,
you haven't been the nicest to me, so...
What's the point of a story like that? The book ended. Suddenly they're living in Italy. They're happily ever after because they have a dog. Oh yeah, should I tell you my ratings? Okay, sure. For November 9, it was 2 stars, and I only gave it 2 stars because at the time I really loved Colleen Hoover and I was like, 1 extra star for the author. I think All Your Perfects, I gave it 2 stars too, like 2.5 stars. I think I only gave it 2.5 stars because I kind of like appreciated that it was real. Like it felt really real and raw, but yeah. Not my cup of tea. Oh my god, I'm going so fast with these books. I'm still like just pushing my cuticles. I'll come back when I have applied the first coat of like color. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about is Tell Me What You Want, Cringy Bad. It's not well developed. Obviously, she fell in love with the CEO of the company that she works for because she got stuck on an elevator with him and he was like super intrigued by her. Don't know why. I think because she didn't realize it was the CEO, so she was acting kind of like, honestly, a little bit embarrassing, and she wouldn't shut up basically. But yeah, after they get together, to be honest, he doesn't really care about her all that much. She tries to threaten him of like, oh, it's either this or nothing. And he's like, okay, I told you what I'm like. So she's like, okay, so I'm gonna accept you. Best moment of all was that she's so not like other girls, right? So she was getting ready to spend a day with him, a very casual day. someone's calling me. Sorry, my cousin called me, but I finished painting the first coat of color. Tell me, what do you think? It's not perfect, but the first layer is just a base. But as I was saying, there was this scene where she was gonna go out with him and whatever, and she was like, I'm gonna wear my Guns N' Roses t-shirt today because I was listening to Sweet Child of Mine while I was in the shower. So quirky. Seriously, that was painful for me to read. And obviously she put a pair of ripped jeans and a Converse and her hair in a bun. Flashbacks, anyone? Also, the spice, really over the top and really, honestly, a little disturbing to say the least. And that woman did not value herself enough. He wanted to treat her as his favorite employee with a few benefits, if you know what I mean. It was an awful book. It's honestly the worst book I've ever read. I think I gave it 1 star. Speaking of corporate relationships, the next book is The Hating Game. And I know this book is really, really famous on Book Talk. And there's even a movie for it, which is mind-blowing. I read this book in Portuguese as well. To be fair, all the ones that I've been listing, so far, all the four that I've listed, I've read in Portuguese. That might be part of the problem. But The Hating Game is so weird. I don't know which one was published first, but I feel like the Spanish Love Deception was just a upgraded version of The Hating Game. I can't tell you the point that they started letting the feelings flow and actually start falling in love with each other. It was just so sudden. She got sick and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of her, even though I've just pouted for the last 5 years that we know each other. But yeah, sure, I'm gonna take care of her because I'm that guy. Oh my god. And also he painted his bedroom walls to match her eye color. I'm sure it was supposed to be romantic. It was just so creepy. It was almost as fast as flipping a switch with them. Out of nowhere, they were like, I think I like you, but we still have to put up this front that we hate each other. So I think I gave it 3 stars or 2.5 stars. I have to wait for the white ones to dry a little better, but I think I can already put the top coat on the black nails. So that's what I'm gonna do. While we talk about Twisted Love. Twisted Love is the first one in the Twisted series. And I was like, it's enjoyable, but I don't think I like the grumpy sunshine trope. That might be my controversial opinion. Everyone's got problems, so because you had a problem years ago, now I have to deal with it, you know? This might be a little harsh, but yeah, that's how I feel. The story in itself was okay, and it was also brother's best friend. It was kind of nice. I like the brother's best friend trope, but at the same time, I don't quite understand it. Because yeah, he's your best friend, and then he likes your sister, so he starts dating her. What's wrong with that, you know? If he's your best friend, he must be a really nice person. So why would you be mad if your sister is with a guy like that? Maybe I'm being too rational towards these things, but silly little book, you know? Compared to the other ones in the series, it's definitely the weakest. Don't let my friend hear that because she is gonna be mad at me that I said this, because I think it's one of her favorites from the series. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The singing in this book. He sang for her. Oh no! That was the cherry on top for me for how bad this book was. So I was so traumatized by the singing that I gave it 2.5 stars. Moment of pause because I'm gonna do the cow print. There we go. Oh. The last book I want to talk about is The Cheat Sheet. The female main character was such a pick-me girl. It's friends to lovers. He's this super famous football player. She's a ballerina. They've known each other for ages. Every time he dates someone, it doesn't really last because of her. The male main character really prioritizes his best friend, the female main character, his girlfriends always end up like,
It's either me or her.
that happens in front of her one time and she's like, uh-oh, because she already knows he's gonna pick her and not his girlfriend. Girl, are you proud of that? It was just so weird. Like,
His girlfriends always tell him to choose, but he always chooses me.
the story had potential. They wouldn't admit to each other that they both liked each other. So it was very frustrating. Even their friends know it already. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to ruin our friendship. They kept their friendship, but never progressed it to anything. I don't even remember what made them start confessing their feelings and whatnot. I don't even remember what happened. Yeah, I feel like it's dry enough for me to put the last layer of top coat. Yes, my nails are done. But yeah, my nails are done. Here, let me show you this one because it looks prettier. Oh, I'm so proud of it. Those were the worst books I've ever read in my entire life so far. I really hope you enjoyed this style of video. I definitely did. It feels like I'm talking to a friend. Well, you are my friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!